Well, hello everyone, Spencer here, also known as Lego Dude 11, and in today's video, this is my She-Hulk Attorney at Law spoiler review that just concluded last week over on Disney+. So without further ado, let's discuss. Okay, so first and foremost, I got my list of notes here that I did take down on the entire season, all 9 episodes of this show. So, that's what I just want to say here first. So, that's pretty much all the housekeeping you got. So, what I typically do with these TV shows and movies is I take notes on it, and I like to talk about the score or the soundtrack first. So, the composer for this show was Amy Doherty. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right, because if I did, man, I butchered it bad. But yeah, so I don't know how to pronounce it. I could look it up, but I mean, I've looked it up, but I don't know how to pronounce it. But I like this score. I genuinely like this score a lot. It's one that I want to continuously listen to. Unfortunately, as of this video, I have no idea where Volume 2 is. I've been searching it on YouTube, Googling it. It's like it's going to release on October 14th. It's past October 14th, so where is it? That's just something I've been trying to do. But I like the first part of the soundtrack. I like the theme. I've been listening to it nonstop. It's actually kind of catchy in my eyes. I mean, for people that don't listen to this, don't like She-Hulk, probably aren't listening to it, but I like it, so that's just all me. I think it's a nice superhero kind of theme to me, and I like it. So that's just my opinion. I like what Amy has done with this score. If we have a season 2, I definitely will be listening to more, but you know, that's just my thoughts. So I like it a lot. I like the motifs and everything it has going for it. So that's that. So let's move on to the actual show itself here. And I have my first impressions in episode 1, kind of mixed in one, I think, kind of nicely. So going in, when the show was gonna, not debut, but was announced, and we had this like promo footage shown at like a Disney Plus day, I believe it was, like Moon Knight, What If, Miss Marvel, and then this were shown, and this had the 70s feel, like the Don't Make Me Angry type clip, and then we got the first trailer. I liked the first trailer. I really did. I like both trailers, and you know, people are like already commenting like, oh, this show's gonna be awful. Oh, look at She-Hulk. I'm like, what's wrong with it? Like, you're basing the whole show off of a trailer. Like, why? So, anyway, I find that funny. My first impressions were excited to see the genre that they're going to bring. Just like Werewolf by Night, Marvel is experimenting, trying new things, so I'm always interested in what they have. Miss Marvel blew me away. So we have these 2 trailers. We get the first trailer, I liked it. The second trailer was like a little bit more about the show. First episode airs, I thoroughly loved it. The origin story about her getting her gamma blood, or about her getting gamma blood, you know, infused with it, and then her having to deal with the anger, Bruce showing that to her, telling her, you know, the dialogue between the two, and then them having in the lab on this island, or wherever they were, remote place, and doing the simulations, and was kind of neat. Then the whole fight goes down between Hulk and She-Hulk. Not bad, I liked the whole first episode, and then it was a nice origin story with them, dealing with their struggles, right? Then we have that court case at the end with Titania breaking in. Nice little summary on the ending there, or like fight, takedown, and everything to conclude the first episode. I like that. We get the next 3 episodes. In each episode, I loved all the end credit scenes that they put in the first 4 episodes. The Captain America, and then that was it. I love that. And then the 3rd episode had that twerking scene with Megan Thee Stallion. Was hilarious. I laughed my butt off at that. Some people thought it was terrible, but I didn't. Who cares? Just stop. Just get out of here. If you don't like it. But the first 4 episodes worked for me. I mean, this whole show worked for me, but I'm gonna get into the elements that didn't in a little bit. But you know, people are always now talking about this show's concluded, and like, oh, the first 4 episodes that were given to the press each had an end credit scene. With the 4th one had the Wongers, Madison, the 1 Y, 2 N's, but not where you think. It's just like, She was pretty funny. Some people thought she was annoying. My dad thought she was annoying. I thought she was kind of humorous in parts, just kind of like she makes no sense, but then her connection to Wong, like, Wongers! Like, it was hilarious. And that end credit scene with them watching Sopranos, or like when they were talking about alcohol, was hilarious. So each for the first 4 episodes had an end credit scene, then the last one does, but not the other 5. Or is that not the other 4? Yeah, not the other 4. And kind of like, okay, why? Like, starting episode 5, they don't, and then episode 9, it does. So like, why? Don't know. But it doesn't really bother me that much, but it's kind of unusual. It's kind of strange why. But yeah, the first 4 were great for me. The second one with Abomination, and then the third one with Abomination. Didn't the second one have Abomination in it? Yes. Because the third one had Wong, and the second one had Wong. So yeah, in the second one, she first has to represent Emil Blonsky, and then in the third one, they have the whole lawyer scene with Emil Blonsky with his 7 soulmates, which I found quite interesting. So it wasn't the Thunderbolts, but we kind of have a tease that I'll talk about later about that. But yeah, so those are the first 3 episodes. The first one's the origin, second 2 kind of deal with Emil Blonsky, then this 4th one here deals with Donnie Blaze, which, and the whole Madison thing. Also, by the way, I'm kind of cutting back and forth here, but the third one, I like that. I like the B plot with the whole Asgardian elf thing. I thought that was very neat and very funny, because that was the whole thing with Megan Thee Stallion. Love that. I thought that was so funny, so humorous. Then the whole Donnie Blaze thing. I hope we get Ghost Rider in the MCU at some point. Like, if they just shrug this off and go like, oh yeah, there's our Ghost Rider little cameo type thing, I'm like, oh, come on. But if they're kind of like showing us that, yes, they will put Ghost Rider in soon, this was just them making fun at Donnie Blaze, like their little reference there, I hope so. But I like that one. It's just, I'm a sitcom guy. I kind of want to mention this right now. I'm not going to go through and list. I will talk about that in a minute here. But I want to talk about the humor and the wokeness and my love for comedy. So, I can't stand people. I just saw John Campea, one of my favorite YouTubers. Love him talking about movies and TV. Talking about how people just, rant and rant and rant about, things that they hate. And I can't stand these people that make videos about She-Hulk. I'm not saying I'm obligated to talk about this. I'm not saying I'm obligated to say, yes, I liked it, but I'm a comedy guy, and if you're not into comedy, like when people just see like, oh, She-Hulk, this is a derivative character, this show's gonna suck, and I'm like, well, guys, take a step back. Do you know anything about the character? Do you know that she does break the fourth wall? Do you know that this show's gonna be a comedy? Because if it wasn't a comedy, there are many ways that this show could have gone. But the fact that they did this in her own show, that this is the character that she is, I feel like in my own sense, it worked, and I'll get into everything later, but I'm a comedy guy. I don't like the direction Nickelodeon's going with their comedies. I don't like sitcoms these days. Be more specific. I like The Office. I love The Office. I love Big Bang Theory. My 2 favorite sitcoms. I like Schitt's Creek. Seinfeld's I know popular. I'm just never gotten into that. Friends is good. I have the Central Park Lego set right over there. I like Parks and Rec and Community, and Modern Family. But sitcoms now just seem to use the laugh track so much, and they don't hit the right beats. This, on the other hand, for She-Hulk, hit humor very nicely for me. Now, some people it doesn't work, but that's okay. But I don't feel like you need to come out and straight and say, this show's humor doesn't work, and it's all woke. And I'm like, okay, there's nothing. If you give me reasons and elements that I might agree with you, but people just say it, have this own like collection of verbiage and words, and they just speak it all the time, and they just constantly say the same thing. I'm like, yes, but you're not telling me why you think this. So I don't like that. But I thought all of the humor and all the episodes worked for me. All the characters that had that used their dialogue and humor worked nice. So there's that for it. And the cameos in this show, like I kind of mentioned, like the Mr. Immortal guy, the Asgardian elf, Donnie Blaze, and I'm trying to see who else was in here. Like the Man Bull, the El Matador guy, the Wrecking Crew was very interesting, to say the least. Like, they weren't like the Tracksuit Mafia and Hawkeye that just was like, boom, here's a threat throughout the entire show. No, they were kind of like this little tease of a threat, and then it kind of developed into the bigger threat later. and which I thought was kind of interesting. I don't know how you guys feel. I feel like it was fine for like one episode sitcom, since it was like a sitcom and it was like, here's this, all right, and then the character Wrecker came back later. So I thought that was really nice. Something else I liked about this show a lot was the meta-ness of it, how it dealt with, how it broke the fourth wall, obviously, because that's her character. If you don't like that, just go. Just please go. But I like that a lot. I mean, you know, the humor, breaking the fourth wall, the meta-ness. I cannot wait to see it again. Something I want to be upfront about. I would love to see Jen, She-Hulk, interact with Deadpool 3, or a Season 2. But my question right here is as to why. I'm kind of getting ahead. I even wrote down the future of She-Hulk. Why am I not saying this at the end? But yeah, I would like to see her interact in Deadpool. Maybe Deadpool 3 or a Season 2, but that's stretching it. So yeah, I mean, if they put She-Hulk in Deadpool 3, by all means, but unless they do a Season 2, that they have Deadpool in Season 2. So there's that. Also, there's lots of Easter eggs in this show that I really liked as well. First up, I'm trying to see there's one in the finale that we'll get to in a minute here, but like the first tease, there's two or three Wolverine. There's when they're talking about the Iron Man shoes, the Iron Man 3 shoes, and then they have this whole panel at the end and like the end credits, like the drawings or whatever. They have all these shoes laid out with different costumes, different Marvel characters' shoes. It was crazy, and people were just going through like, who's this? And they have two other, including the shoes, 3 Wolverine Easter eggs. One is a man fights man with claws in Bar Brawl, and then there's like above that article is another article that says, why is there a giant head floating out of the ocean, referring to not She-Hulk, referring to the Eternals. And then another Easter egg was in the penultimate episode, which was, is there going to be a red She-Hulk? Like not only the fact is she talking about Red Hulk, but a red She-Hulk, which was crazy. So I really thought that was quite interesting that she mentioned that. And yeah, so another person that I really liked in this show, well, Wong had all the right notes for me. I just love seeing Wong on screen again. He did phenomenal in this job, beat Benedict Wong. But I like the character Frogman. Nope, not Frogman, Leapfrog. Guys, I have gotten tons of comments in my How to Build Leapfrog video that said, it's Frogman! It's Frogman! Don't you know it's Frogman? And then he shows up in the show. I'm like, guys, on IMDb it says, he even had an interview saying, I am Leapfrog, stay tuned, She-Hulk, attorney at law. And I'm like, guys, it's Leapfrog. He shows up, it's Leapfrog. And I'm like, did you think I'd be wrong? Big Marvel guy saying I'm wrong. But no, yeah, I like seeing Leapfrog, even though he was a villain, like, not an evil doer, but just, you know, in that sense, in the legal sense that he was kidnapped someone to work for him, he was villainous. It was fine. I liked the character though, and I liked how Daredevil back in the show, when he showed up in the show, they got Daredevil back on track. I mean, people were like, oh, is he just going to be a jokester? I think some people kind of aren't on par with him, but I definitely think he's on par. I definitely think he's good. I mean, he definitely has some humor, but that's what this show was. It was a comedy. He also did have some jokes in the Daredevil show, but totally fine, totally worked for me, you know, when he says, I'm just going to quote this, I'm sorry if you're a kid watching this, oh, my ass remains unwhooped. It's like, that was pretty funny, I love that line. So, yeah, I mean, all this stuff, all the Daredevil stuff worked. I love the penultimate episodes with Ribbit and Rip It, the little catchphrase he has. And, so now, yeah, I mean, and Titania, the whole thing there, I'm going to get to the end here. Yeah, they're just great Easter eggs. There's things I want to mention, it's the whole finale and everything, but there's things I want to mention here with specifically 2 episodes here. One, because the first 4, like I said, really worked for me, and those were the first 4 that worked for the press, were shown to the press. And I definitely see, I like this show more than most people probably do. I would put it above Hawkeye. and like right below Moon Knight probably, or maybe, I mean, this struggles as a comedy. I like the show, so it's probably like right underneath Moon Knight. This Hawkeye, this Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, and yeah, so there's that. So I couldn't make a video ranking them later, but so the first 4 episodes were shown to the press. Very nice. I loved all 4 of those. And then the 5th one is about. The 5th one is the one where we get no post-credit scene, and then from on there. But is the one about Titania and She-Hulk's court case, which I really liked that because it kind of dealt with those 2 characters, having a little dynamic there. So there's that, and then, you know, because the legal agreement between She-Hulk, that whole thing, I like that. And then she says this isn't over. So then we go into the next episode, which is a transition from the legal stuff, and Jennifer even makes a comment about it, like, we're going to a wedding? Doesn't this seem kind of abrupt in the middle of the season? You're like, yes, it is. And then she goes there, and then Titania tries to get revenge and has another fight with her that I find very, very funny. The fight is hilarious. Now, if it doesn't work for you, that's fine. Let's not have an argument about it. I'm just saying that this is what I think about it. It was funny when she fell and then like, oh no, my teeth. And then she just takes the cake. Like that guy, like she hits the one caterer dude, and then she steals the cake from him. It was like, what the heck? Why that guy? That was kind of funny. So, yeah, I like how these 2 episodes back-to-back deal with Titania. But it's a wedding. Like, we first get the court case with Titania. I kind of like looking at this back-to-back. And then we have a character development with Jennifer and her getting a little love, like a little fling at the wedding. It was kind of nice. And then we go into the next episode that is the retreat. And we see all these certain superhero characters at Emil Blonsky, also known as the Abomination's retreat. I feel like after going from 5 episodes of court cases, a legal comedy, to, oh, we're going to a wedding? Oh no, we're going to a retreat? What is all this dumb superhero, like these dumb superheroes, like they're not really superheroes because man-bull, but like I found it very unique and it worked for these these characters worked for the show. But like at the retreat, the episode was very weird in and of itself, but I felt like it was able to give Jennifer a speech, and she gave a speech about how her character's not working and how she wants to grow and accept She-Hulk and Jennifer, people to accept both. I really like that element. And Josh was just a douche altogether. We find out that he was not a good guy. But I wrote down pacing, and it was like the teases. Like, we get the Daredevil tease a couple episodes before. Like, I think we get it in episode 5, because that's where she gets her clothes in episode 5. And then we see, because it's not like, it's 3 episodes later that we don't see Daredevil, and it's like, really? What the heck? Like, people, after the show ended, or, thinking about it, it's like, well, why wasn't Daredevil in the next episode if you tease it previously? To me, that's fine. I don't mind. It's just the teasing was kind of weird, and then the pacing was kind of weird because we had the wedding, we had the retreat, no legal stuff, and then we go back to legal stuff in episode 8 and 9. So it's just kind of bizarre. Pacing. I don't mind it. I loved all the humor, all the comedy. It all worked for me there. But some people, I feel like some people are kind of confused, and I agree to that. But it all worked for me on that sense. So with that said, I do want to mention the finale and the future of She-Hulk. So, what are my thoughts on the finale of She-Hulk? I was blown away by it. Like, seriously, I'm not kidding. Because I might be a little bit biased, and I'm not obligated to say that I did like it, because I mean, like every Marvel thing, I pretty much like, except Thor: The Dark World. I do like Eternals. I do like that film. It's not the best Marvel film, but I do like elements in it. This, however, like I said, like I mentioned about the whole comedy thing, I like this as a comedy. It worked for me, and in the end, she kind of dealt with the legal she had a little legal scenario in the ending, and I really like that. The whole beginning of the episode where she, because she went on a rampage, and the last part when They're like, intelligentsia, we are intelligentsia. Do you want to see who She-Hulk really is? And then she goes after Todd, because he's created intelligentsia, but she doesn't know that yet. And then she's in prison, she loses her powers, and people are trying to ask, like, the whole media's at their house, and it's like, get off my lawn! It's like, just stop, get out of here. And then the whole beginning thing, like, because she has her inhibitor, she can't become She-Hulk. And then her whole family, they're trying to figure out how they can take down intelligentsia. So then she goes to find, or she texts Bruce, he's AWOL, goes to talk to Emil Blonsky, and at his retreat, and Wrecker's there, she calms down at the retreat. And wouldn't you know it, they're having an actual private event that Todd's there, Pug and Nikki go to investigate where intelligentsia are, and that's intelligentsia at this retreat. And then Abomination comes to speak, and I'm like, no! So this is all unfolding. Jennifer walks in, sees this happening, and, you know, Todd is like, Todd, this douche that, by the way, got a Wakandan spear for $1 million. Wakanda forever! Oh, that makes me uncomfortable. Sorry. Had to do that there. But, I thought, he's like, I had to earn the powers, the superpowers that Josh synthesized. They synthesized the blood. Josh stole the blood, so Todd injects himself, becomes the Hulk in a very bizarre way, which I thought was hilarious. Some people think it's absolutely disgusting, they don't like it. I thought it was hilarious. He turns into a Hulk, he goes after Jennifer, Bruce comes in, and then Titania shows up. So what I find really interesting is this whole thing ended with Titania, right? Like, she kind of is a little threat in the beginning, and then she's like, here out of the blue, and then the story's resolved. Like, I'm like, okay, what was the point of Titania showing up? But I found it hilarious. Like, all these storylines come meshing in. Hulk Todd, Titania, then Bruce shows up out of outer space, and he's like, let go of my cousin to fight Abomination, and then she's like, none of these storylines make any sense, so let's just go ahead and pause the show, go back to the Disney Plus menu, breaking the actual fourth wall into Disney Plus itself, going in, punching through Marvel Assembled, and then coming into Marvel Studios. Like, this finale was so epic, so hilarious. This, like, if I watched this with my friend, a couple of my friends who are Marvel fans, right? And who's my friend who kind of likes to talk about, like, things to nitpick, which is fine, who I'm not really sure if he's a big comedy person, but if I watch this with him, right, who complains all the time about, like, this was stupid, I wouldn't want to see his reaction to this and see how he reacts to the meta stuff, right? But this worked for me on all levels, and I just want to sound biased, but, like, when she's going through the fourth wall, she goes through Marvel's Assembled, she walks up to the writers and is like, what kind of stupid finale is this? And they're just like, well, we thought it'd be cool if it was like a twist. Like, well, why does the guy just steal the superpowers? And I want to talk to Kevin. And he's like, well, this is the story that Kevin wants. And immediately, everybody that's watching this is like Kevin Feige. And he's like, I want to talk to Kevin. Like, nobody talks to Kevin. Like, even before they said that, I'm like, nobody talks to Kevin. Like, he's the high up dude. Like, he's creating all this. Nobody talks to Kevin. The writers do the work, and this is the story that Kevin wants, and that's it. So, I found it funny, and then she goes and signs the NDA, does all this stuff, and then wouldn't you know it, it's an AI robot. And it's kind of like wearing a hat like Kevin Feige does. This thing reminds me of MODOK, but it reminds me of MODOK, but I'm like, it's an AI. It's like Kevin. So I laughed about, like, the entire way through. Like, I thought this whole finale was hilarious. Them playing the Wakandan drums for, like, no wait, you're too expensive. The visual effects artists have moved on to another project. Like, that was hilarious. And then there's the whole dialogue, like, let's erase this plot line, let's erase this plot line. I would rather do this, this, and this, talking to Kevin. And then, what was, like, talking about the whole daddy issues thing. Oh, when are we getting the X-Men? nice touch there as well, another Easter egg moment, kind of like the 2 Wolverine references we got. I like those references because we now know that Wolverine and Deadpool are showing up, or Wolverine's showing up in the next Deadpool movie. Really like that touch as well. And then they close out their conversation by saying, see you on the big screen. And she's like, really? He's like, no. Which is kind of an interesting joke because I'm like, I found it really funny. And then I heard that she's going to be in Captain America 4, which will have the leader. And I'm like, maybe Intelligentsia will come back. And I'm like, but that is the big screen. So why did you make that joke? Anyway, that aside, I loved everything that happened in this finale. Now, some people are saying, oh, they undid everything. It's pointless. But I'm going to go, yes, but this is the show is a comedy. It's a legal comedy. She did the little legal thing at the end there, and she broke the fourth wall, literally. Like it was like the comic books, where she broke through the panels of the comic books. If you're not down with that, I'm sorry. But you don't have to, like, complain about it, like, complain about it. And, but I personally loved everything that happened in the finale. It paid off for, like, the other episodes. I feel like it paid off. And the Daredevil little appearance there, in the end, I liked how he came and ate dinner with them. It was odd that he didn't show up. Like, I understand he didn't break in before they went to talk to Kevin, but it was just like, why come in at the end? Like, he's like, oh, you missed it. It's kind of funny. I like that a lot. So, yeah, then he's eating dinner with them, and Bruce shows up to their family dinner and says, I've been on Sakaar for a while, but I want you to meet someone. And it's his son, Scar! Oh my god, Scar! Now, he looked a little bit different, not just because it was the actor, but I'm like, ooh, he's not gray. Like, he doesn't have that long hair. I think it was kind of pulled back, so maybe he'll have long hair later. But I'm so excited they have Scar in the MCU. Now all they need to complete the Agents of Smash is they have Hulk, Scar, She-Hulk. They need Red Hulk and Abomination. Then they'll have the Agents of Smash. That'll be awesome to see in the MCU. But anyway, that's a thought of mine. One thing that they didn't do, by the way, they teased the Red She-Hulk thing. Also, Red Hulk is rumored. They're going to get a new actor to play Thaddeus Ross by Harrison Ford, which is really interesting. Interested to see that in the Thunderbolts, possibly. But I like the Scar tease. Something they didn't do in the show that was just kind of my own thoughts, like, oh, could this happen? I don't know if it was something to do with Hulk Todd. It wasn't Hulk Todd, because that was just another character. But the totally awesome Hulk, also known as Amadeus Cho, which is a character that can turn into the Hulk. He has like this mohawk, and it's the Hulk. And I'm like, I wanted to see if they were going to do that in the show. They didn't. But maybe they'll do it in... I mean, what is Captain America 4 going to be? The new Hulk story, because She-Hulk's going to be in it. I don't know. Maybe they're going to do a She-Hulk Season 2. They could have totally awesome Hulk in that. They could have a World War Hulk movie. If they're going to do the Scar thing, maybe they could have that character, totally awesome Hulk, Amadeus Cho, in that movie. I don't know. Or a Planet Hulk movie, if they're going to do that, because of the whole Sakaar thing. I don't know. They said save it for the movie, so I don't know if that's true or not. But, yeah, the future of She-Hulk is kind of interesting. I don't know if they're planning to have her on the big screen, like I said, on Captain America 4. I mean, I don't know. I definitely, like I said, I would love to see her team up with Deadpool in Deadpool 3, or if they have a Season 2. Like, I'm not sure. I'm down for a Season 2. I'm definitely going to watch it. And I want to be totally upfront about this. When I make these reviews about Disney or Marvel, like I just said, I'm not obligated to say that I liked it. And I always continue watching things about Marvel because I like superheroes and stuff. But this is something. She even explains it in the finale that Marvel is like this high spectacle stuff, right? But this show is a legal comedy. And all these elements work for me. Like, I feel like because of this show, like, people are like, hate on it all the time. But I'm like, guys, this is a different genre for Marvel. If you're not into that, don't watch it, or else you are going to criticize it. Me, I'm a comedy guy, so I sat down and watched this. Even Multiverse of Madness was horror, and I'm into this horror stuff, and it worked for me. If you're not into horror, don't watch Multiverse of Madness, because you're just not going to enjoy it. So, that's kind of what I think on that. But, with that said, I mean, this show at the end of the day, for me, I don't know. I mean, I'm not calling it a 10 out of 10 for sure. I mean, not even an 8 out of 10. A 7 out of 10? I give it a 6.5 out of 10. But that's just my number. That's just my arbitrary number. I mean, it's like, I could watch a show later and go, I want to rank it down here, but I definitely put it above Hawkeye. And I'm a guy that likes Hawkeye. Like, I don't think Hawkeye is absolute garbage. I just didn't find it all, like, the story elements were all there. And not that I needed Hawkeye to be super humorous. I liked the humor in Hawkeye, but some of the characters just were weak. This show, for me, definitely elevated lots of things. It's not the best show on TV, She-Hulk. I mean, I don't think it's the best show on TV. But for people that like comedy, for people, like, I've seen somebody, I saw this review and somebody said that this finale worked for them. Others are saying, it's awful, it's terrible. But for me, I loved it, thoroughly loved it. And I cannot wait to see more of She-Hulk, whether it be a Captain America 4, a Season 2, teaming up with Deadpool. And I totally think, not only Deadpool, and like if she's in Deadpool 3 with Wolverine, like, because they're definitely going to have Wolverine, the buddy cop thing with Deadpool, but Gwenpool. Having Gwenpool talking with She-Hulk, that's something worth seeing. Because they both of those characters together would be worth seeing. And even if Deadpool came in with Gwenpool and She-Hulk and like, wait, what are you two doing? So that would be kind of cool, and all those elements, all those things I would like to see. Let me know what you thought of She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, the full season, all 9 episodes that are now streaming on Disney+. So let me know what you thought in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel, LegoDude11. Be sure to follow me over at Boba Fett Jedi Master. Link is down below. Don't forget to hit that like button. Let me know what you thought of the show and the future of She-Hulk. Stay tuned, because I will be having my Black Adam review next week. I had to think of when this video is coming out and when I'm recording things. So don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me. Stay tuned for my Black Adam review coming next week, and more videos on the way, more vlogs, reviews, and customs. Well, my next customs are Secret Invasion next year, so that's a while. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me. As always, don't forget to keep calm, play Lego, stay tuned for the next review. Bye, everyone.